And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's see who the best of the best is on the Estonian startup scene. The Estonian Startup Awards Gala 2020 is going live. Here are your hosts, Martin and Liis.
Dear founders and co-founders, hackers, hustlers and investors, we are very excited to welcome you here tonight at the Startup Awards 2020 Gala event.
The Startup Awards is taking place second time, and it's already probably the biggest event of our community annually, and I hope the importance of the event would even grow in the upcoming years. It's truly a community effort. So we have got hundreds of nominations, and we have got 159 founders among yourselves giving votes and actually making the final decisions who will get the awards tonight.
But before we continue, we have a very special guest joining us this evening to welcome you all. So please continue. The President of Estonia, Madam Kersti Kaljulaid, please.
Hello all, hello my dear startup community. I could be talking about data, I could be talking about how your sector is steadily growing 30% year on year. I could be talking also that we have already 1,100 startups employing 6,500 people, which is roughly 1% of Estonian workforce. I could also mention that the salaries paid to these people is much more than 1% of salaries paid in the whole Estonia. But this is so boring. It's much more interesting to say how I feel about you all. And you know, in these 4 years, while I have been the president of Estonia, I've been able, and this is unique for a head of state, scratch the belly of a unicorn. I've also been able to pat the head of a unicorn. I've also finally, it took some waiting, seen a unicorn hatching. Fascinating process. And then, you know, because I'm Estonian president, I normally see our unicorns wag their tail and trot off into the world, because we are 1 million people. I'm so very proud of you. And even if during the last 2 years, maybe the conditions in the unicorn incubator have not been the best, it really has not stopped them developing, and I'm happy about it. You have been with us through this difficult time. You have been with us helping to support the development of Estonian e-government. You have been with us when we have been selling Estonia globally, giving us the only sales point, the only argument which Estonia can have. It is that Estonia is not a country up north close to Russia, but it is a country which is online, which is in internet. Without you, Estonian story would be much less exciting. And I also hope that we, in our work, have been able to piggyback some of you to the better future. And I promise I will continue doing so also in the next years. Thereby, I would really like to thank the initiative founders, Lift 99, Startup Estonia. You are a community which is close-knit. You are a community which is so small that nobody in the global world could believe that such a world-famous thing like Estonian startup community could be such a tiny, tiny population of people looking at it globally. But here in Estonia, well, this is how we are. Even our unicorns from the start look bigger than the other people's unicorns, and we are so proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam President. We are indeed very lucky to have you as our president. This award ceremony would be nothing without the glimpse of what went on in 2020. And therefore, I will give the floor to Martin to give you a bit of an overview.
Thank you. As a second-year president of Estonian Founders Society, I'm very grateful for the Founders Society members to re-elect me. And I'll try to look back then for the first year, which was pretty challenging, 2020. But before we do that, let's actually look at the European situation. Where do we stand today? In late last year, a research report came out, and as you can see now on the screen, Estonians have 4.6 times more startups per capita than the European average. So we are leading the pack of the small northern countries that are so much more entrepreneurial. But okay, we have more startups. What does it matter? Why is it important? It's actually the question of probability. The more startups that are founded, the more probability that some of them get successful. As you know, a small part of them, or usually they are bootstrapping, they try to grow by revenues from the customers. Second part, they try to raise funding, and a lot of them can do that because our ecosystem is doing very well. Some part of them fail, which is also very natural. We have many second and third time founders, and few that get really, really successful. Some of them get bored. We saw that also this year. And the very rare ones, then they become unicorns. 2020 was a tough year to start. In March, everyone was really in a dark situation. No one knew how long the crisis is going to be. So some of the startups needed to get rid of some of their team. But if you look at the final numbers, we can see we did a record year in fundraising, close to 450 million. Wow, that's a great record. It shows that the investors are actually believing us. But even more important, we also got exits, which was 8 exits in 2020. That's a record over a long time. And what does it show? It's a milestone in the company's life when the investors and founders and the team decides that, okay, it's time to exit, it's time to give on the ownership to someone who would take the company to the next level, to the future. And if we look at the funding, we can see that we had 5 funding rounds this year that was more than 10 million, and Bolt was leading the pack with close to 250 million. We can say that, wow, that's big enough, but we have a long tail and follow-up of runners, of companies coming, which is Moniz, Skeleton, Rangeforce, Veriff, just to name the few of us that had really, really strong fundraising this year. But we are doing pretty well if we look at this year. If we look back, our community have been growing 30% a year for the last 5 years. That's quite amazing. We have been reaching now 1,000 startups, which is, again, pretty good milestone. And this year, I believe that we reach the third or fourth quarter results are not out still, but I believe that we break 1 billion euros of revenue for the whole sector. So, we are doing this by 6,300 people who are working in Estonian startups. Let's see, what can we do for the next 10 years? I believe that we can grow 10 times. So what would that mean? That would mean 50,000 employees compared to today's 6,000. And that would mean revenues close to 10 billion, which is in range of Estonian state budget annually. So I think that's a pretty good base where we can dream, and I hope that all of the community watching us today can actually buy into that vision. If we look at what's happening in the community, the first half of the year, we decided to rebrand our society. We were called Startup Leaders Club for the first 10 years. The second decade, or the next 10 years, we are called Estonian Founders Society. And the point of that was to make the founders more closer to Estonian society, to explain what our ecosystem is doing, what value do we bring, what value the export and fundraising would bring to Estonia, and all of that. And we have been growing now 50 new members. We have reached 150 members in the community out of 1,000 startups. So that means that the more advanced founders belong to one community which can support each other. I don't know any other country where majority of the founders would belong to such kind of institution and really support each other on a daily basis via Slack, meetups, and all of that. But if we look at other signs, this year we saw strong meetups of female founders who in their own community can talk and share experiences and see how you can grow companies when having children and all of that. So this is specific, and I think we need these role models to get even more and more female founders. We have strong community of foreign founders. More than 200 founders are here that are meeting and again trying to build up their company in a foreign country. That's a tough experience, but supporting each other is important. We have a lively ecosystem of investors, accelerators, and many other meetups of hackers, designers, and so on. That's true signs of a great ecosystem. And with all of that, it's also time to give back. So we gathered all the initiatives that startup founders have initiated or supported over the last 5 years, and we put them on a website. If you look at asutajat.ee, you can see then all the initiatives that we have been supporting, and I think it's just growing. So we can see that it's projects like Education Foundation, Jõhvi Coding School, scholarships to students, and many other things related to robotics and other initiatives that actually boost and grow the next phase of our ecosystem and talent. So with that said, I'm really happy to give the word to Eve from Startup Estonia, who can also share her view, how she sees our development. Please, Eve.
Dear founders, community members, partners, and friends. Thanks for tuning in to see the brightest startup superstars of 2020 get their very well-deserved recognition. It's been one unexpected, weird, challenging, yet memorable year, full of kindness and successes. To think back at it, I think we've managed to come together strongly as a community and achieved some very great stuff. Exactly 1 year ago, at the last Startup Awards event, we launched the Startup Database, which has been very well received and can now be used by everyone interested in the Estonian startup ecosystem. We have exceeded our expectations, and we have now 1,100 and even a bit more startups listed in the database for all the world to see. I'd like to congratulate to all the founders because we are here for you. There are over 100 support organizations in our community. They all play their part in these success stories. We'd like to thank you for your commitment and your friendship. We couldn't have done it without you. We have also relaunched a whole set of free model documents with the help of Estonian law firms so that we can speed up the foundation, the team building, and the early investment processes for startups and also cut down their legal costs. We've continued to grow the foreign founders community with the help of the Estonian startup visa, despite the restrictions in traveling. We've seen 2 flagship events take place in 2020, Startup Day and Latitude 59. And Latitude 59 was very successfully managed as a hybrid event. Finally, we've reached the historic moment of launching a co-created white paper for the next 7 years that brings us together onto the same page and gives our startup community common direction and responsibility. We're very excited and looking forward to our common efforts to bring all the good ideas into reality. Thank you all again for this wonderful year. Enjoy the awards ceremony, good luck, and hope to see you all very soon.
Thank you, Eva. And now we move on with a short glimpse into startup founders, startup artists' life during the times of pandemic.
For a while now, all the entertainment and relaxation facilities in Harjumaa and Ida-Virumaa have been closed. This change has had a strong effect on people. They are unable to relax. They stiffen up and they get nervous and angry. But a self-respecting innovator cannot let this happen. Oh man, my back and neck are getting stiff. It's time to hit the spa and relax a bit. is this? How can I get anything smart done with a stiff back? What the actual heck? Maybe I should do some yoga. Nope, not for me. I better stay in my own lane. In my own lane. Done! Now I just need to test it. Sharing platform. There is not a single unsolvable problem in the eyes of a real startup artist.
Wow, a real startup artist right there. You seem to be hitting the winter swimming trend in Estonia with that one this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty hopeful that's going to be a next unicorn.
How much does it fit on your accounts, given the potential success of the startup already this year?
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. I think I can bootstrap and don't need any external funding. So yeah,
That's great. So more promising startups coming up.
Yeah, but next up, we're going to have a panel. And this year we have got some pretty key figures to join who hasn't been on stage and on talking over a long time. And they're going to check into our categories, try to maybe share a bit of insights about the startup life, some of the exits and other activities. And it's going to be led by Sten Tamkivi and
joined by Kaidi Ruusalep from Funderbeam, Timo Rein from Pipedrive, and Carlos Paniagua from Glia. Welcome.
Hey. Glad to be with you in the most physical form that we could manage today. It's a real honor to ask a few questions from this esteemed panel. And what I would like to do here today is instead of trying to generalize and sort of try to abstract things out, let's get as specific as we can. Kaidi, Carlos, and Timo are very established, achieved founders. And so I'll throw a few questions out to them, and I would really hope that they respond in personal stories, let us a little bit behind the scenes of some big things they've achieved today and some things that they struggled with. So if I may start with a little pun, because we're talking and looking back at the pandemic year of 2020, let's start with the health of the ecosystem. And the simplest way to think about it maybe is that if you look back at the year 2020 in your life as a founder and in your company, did it turn out as you expected, let's say in 2019, or as you even expected in March 2020? Timo, maybe we can start with you.
Thank you, Sten, and thank you, everybody. It's great to be here. And well, I would say that definitely not when you look at the color of the year. That was very different. I just checked that when you just look at the financial lines, by the end of the year, then we almost got up to the plan which we had drafted at the end of 2019 as a base plan. So if somebody would have been away from the planet Earth and would have just visited us and saw the numbers in the last board meeting or something, they would say, oh, nothing spectacular must have happened. But yeah, during the year, I think everybody knew, when March or April happened, that's going to be quite different. And I have to say, though, that I think that the type of crisis that the world experienced in 2020 and continues to do so, but in 2020 it definitely favored digital companies, while certain industries and businesses just had to suffer really unfairly. And I just remembered a couple of things from March. We looked at how the customer behavior was going and how the revenues were looking, and it was clear that we're not growing. So everything which had gone up and to the right at its own rate was going downhill. So we had a board meeting at the end of March, I believe, and we have had a really good group of people there, ex-entrepreneurs, Niklas Sennström, founder of Skype, other people who are really, really professional investors. And we came in and we said that looks like we're going to have to cut our growth plan in half for 2020. And we were actually thinking that we're already quite pessimistic about it. And the responses were something that surprised us also, was that we should not look at this as optimistically. And do you remember Niklas at one point saying that we should look at this year as a year of not growing, but going maybe like minus 20% against what we did in 2019. It felt so unbelievable at one point, but at the same time, nobody knew. We had no data of the future. Nobody had. So tons of uncertainty, but I think that when it comes to ecosystems and healths, I can only speak for the one that we have been running for the past 10 years, which is a SaaS business. And I think SaaS businesses are particularly resilient in the way that they're built, and really potent in rebounding. So our story saw us, see really, really hard times over March, April, and better part of May, but we were able to rebound already in June quite strongly, and then we had our somewhat best months of the history in terms of summer. Couple of thoughts.
Yeah, thank you for getting into revenues immediate, because that's like one thing that I hope everybody noticed from Martin's intro, is that we're at this breaking point. That 10 years ago, all we could talk about raising money and funding and investors. Last year was a record, 450 million euros raised, but at the same time, we made more money from our customers as a collective group of startups. So $1 billion came from customers, $500 million came from investors. So Carlos, you just made an announcement about the big raise. How was it to raise money in this environment last year?
Right. I think it will connect a little bit to our experience, during 2020 in terms of the impact that COVID had in our business. We raised the Series B in 2019, and with our forecast, we felt pretty confident, that all the investments that we made in 2019, we can get some returns during 2020, and obviously we didn't see the pandemic happening, but I will feel like we were prepared to be lucky, in a way. I want to say that we had a little bit of luck, but at the same time we had a lot of preparation, So when all this happened, the effect in our business was that it accelerated it quite a lot, Some of our clients had to go to work from home overnight, and solutions like ours, like digital solutions, like Timo was saying, had the opportunity, to grow more. So with the forecast that we prepared during 2019, going into 2020, we felt very confident to be on track to grow in a sustainable way, with little to no extra finance. However, the pandemic, as I said, accelerated all that development of the market, and I think we were very uniquely positioned as category creators in the digital customer service space to take and to see that opportunity. So we decided, in conversation with our board and our investors, to take in more money to accelerate that. And our goal, now is
How much did you end up raising?
About 70 million in the Series C round. Yeah.
And did you meet any of these people, or did you meet any of these people, or did they give money over video calls? 70 million.
Not at all. Not at all. It was quite interesting experience. Our board of director meetings are all remote. Doing presentations, doing due diligences online was quite interesting. Especially for my co-founders, in the US. For myself, I'm based in Estonia, so I'm quite familiar with it. But for them, it was quite interesting to have hours of Zoom calls going through details and answering questions, providing documentation, and all that. So yeah, it was quite interesting experience for sure.
Kaidi, is what you're seeing in a broader market of funding as doing what you do with Funderbeam, are these stories similar, or how was the funding overall?
Yes, these stories are very similar, and actually I would have wanted to highlight exactly what you've been highlighting, is that we are slowly switching from celebrating the funds raised to the revenue, and 1 billion revenue is something really to highlight out of 2020 in Estonian community. But our takeaway from 2020 is good companies and quality companies always get funding, and I think also on the Estonian startup scene and the community, both of the numbers show not only the health of the community and the society, but also the quality of the companies and the quality of the investments this area is introducing and producing. But one more interesting aspect of it, because Funderbeam is not only the funding platform, but our main aspect is the trading and the secondaries. And we reached more than 1 million trading volume on our platform in December. So this shows that investors are ready to invest in the tech and private companies, also paying premium, buying it on the secondary market, and it's a Funderbeam is a small marketplace born out of Estonia, but our markets and trading volumes are already higher than 100 bottom London AIM companies. So it's a way to go, and I think secondaries and the trading is the trend to keep an eye on for the next years.
Definitely. Anybody who has noticed the Tesla stock this year would agree that people are willing to pay premiums for tech around the world. When talking about startups, it's natural to talk about starting, the phase, the excitement of 3 girls or boys in a room and building the first prototype and getting to the first customers and all of that. But as all of us know, there is much more to the life cycle of a company. There are the ups and downs and the successes and failures, and most often the flat lines and going in a sort of a horizontal direction, and then there are exits. And obviously our latest unicorn at Pipedrive, Timo, you guys made the most headlines with the exit, but do you have any comments about these other phases, both in your own company and what you think, how we're maturing as a scene? And do we have enough success stories, or do we have too much success stories, and do we see enough failures in our community?
All very good questions, Sten. I don't know if I have answers to all of those, but I have some observations which I think many of the founders who have been working with the startups would agree, I guess, that in a startup we all fail like a lot over a lifespan. But I do think that there's one thing which I've observed, which I think the specific failure where Estonians working in startups and creating them might be really good at, which is that the ones that I know, they really fail to give up as human beings and as professionals. And I'll give a little bit of context why I think it's actually very, very easy to do so, very easy to give up. If you think of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in a company where everything has been established and set, it doesn't really make much difference what day it is. But in a startup life, especially early on, but not early, you can go by Monday being, things are so broken, and not just down or a little bit bad, but it's existentially bad. And then Tuesday you could have something happening which makes you feel that you are achieving or experiencing a monumental success. And then Wednesday comes and you run into another setback, which is so major that it forces you to again go into this sort of to be or not to be questions. And the people I know in this sphere, they just don't seem to give up that easily. And I always have this image of people who grew up during the Soviet Union times. We had this toy called Yonnibun. I don't know how to translate into English, maybe tumbler or something. It's basically a toy that fails to go. You can push it down, but it always comes up because that has a very low center of gravity or weight. And so I do think that these two things I've seen, and I don't know whether it's going to be enough for the future, but so far what I've seen is that the character and a professional realization that that's how it is. That's the only thing that never changes, that we're always going to have that. It's basically, when resiliency meets adversity. That's basically what I've seen. And a story that I remember maybe 1.5 years ago, I was speaking to a co-worker, now a successful startup founder, and he said that I never knew that this sort of a roller coaster would actually be like that every day and every week in real life. I heard people talking about it, but it is, and especially in the beginning. But it can take many years for startups to take off, as we know. So yeah, I do think that we have. I don't know if we're mature as entrepreneurs yet, but I do see that there's some combination of character and professionalism, which is just quite amazing for I don't know how to explain the numbers that Martin was early on sharing, why we have such a high rate of startups and also successful startups. I keep observing.
Yeah, and we should definitely look into what does Yonnibun mean in English. I like that one. When you as founders can lift your head up from the day-to-day ups and downs that Timo just explained, what's your view of the rest of the Estonian startup scene becoming more colorful and more diverse? Carlos, maybe you can comment on how many people do you know in other Estonian startups? Are there any interesting newcomers, young or old, or places from abroad, or male, female, boys, girls, whoever? Who are the most interesting people you met over the years from other startup teams?
Yeah, I think I have met a few, not enough certainly, but I have a couple of acquaintances from Mexico, who are working on a platform to make e-governance available for Latin American countries, which in my opinion is a huge opportunity. A few Brazilians as well, and from my perspective, having the opportunity to combine the competency, the quality, and the experience and sophistication of Estonia and the IT environment with the huge opportunity in countries like Guatemala, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia is pretty huge. There's a clear need, for services that we cannot take for granted in Estonia because they are part of our daily life, but that they are not there, And I feel like having a combination on those two perspectives could be quite impactful for new companies to take advantage of.
Thank you. Kaidi, how about you? Do you feel that our scene is diverse enough?
Yes, I think it's much more diverse than if those who are the elder members and the early members of Estonian Startup Leaders Club. Then a couple of years ago we had a discussion and we were very convinced that this has to be Estonian language-based club, and we have developed so much further from there. But there's one thing what I would encourage everybody in this society to think about. When you think about the new founders and when you do the predictions of the next unicorns, then think broader than your close network. and look around you and really try and force yourself to see different people than you used to see. And don't think that the only future unicorn founder can be a young Estonian man. It can be much wider. And in case we as kind of the set-up founders and super founders don't see the others, then nobody else will see. So we have to start seeing the diversity among each other.
This is a fantastic point. Like I would say my personal favorite thing about the Estonian startup scene in 2020 is I don't know half of the people I meet. Like that would have been impossible a decade ago. Like everybody in tech was friends with each other. And I think the broader this group gets, the stronger we are together. So we are gradually running out of time here. I would like to do a very rapid fire question to each of you. Martin shared his view, the dream of a 10x growth by 2030, generating $1 billion in GDP or €1 billion of GDP and employing 50,000 people. What's your 2030 dream or vision, each one of you, for yourself, for your company, and for Estonia, if you want to generalize? Who wants to go first?
So I'll take it. I'll leave the most important one to the last. So thinking about myself, I hope I can be the honored member of the Wise Wallet, so the investors club. As for the Funderbeam, we will be the global marketplace where private companies list their shares. And as for the Estonian Startup Society, I hope there will be no separate category awards to the female founders, to the international founders, because we are super capable of winning any of those categories ourselves.
Excellent. Carlos, 2030.
Yeah, I think like company-wise, I wanted to see setting the standard for digital customer service. The digital customer service platform set the expectation in the market. For the community, probably see more collaboration. Tied up that loop between experienced entrepreneurs and the new ones, the young ones. And for myself, be an active member of that, play an active role in enabling that diversity, that we have been talking about.
Excellent, thank you. And Timo, bring us home, 2030.
I would maybe just point out one thing which I noticed in 2020, and I'm sure that it goes on. It's kind of sad to see how easy it is for, not just talking about the startup scene, but everybody that makes it, which is just one person, second person, third team, and so on. It's how easy it is to close down in mind and in reality, and basically stop analyzing things deeply and exploring. And that's very easy to happen. And once that happens, we don't have some of the basic blocks, I think, which is required to make all those amazing results happen in 5 years or 10 years time. So I don't know what the good metric is, but I think one of the metrics, I don't know how to measure freedom even, but I would say that if we see that this community is free to dream, full of people who are free to dream and free to create, companies and products and services that address real problems, and then free to decide what they're going to do about it and how they're going to live their life. I think that this is, in this day and age, I would like to go a little bit deeper and say that the starting point is that, because I've seen how easy it is to go to the other side, and I don't think that helps anybody. So all the kudos to the people that have, put their head down and at the same time kept exploring. And I hope that 2030 will give us a lot of results for those people.
Beautiful. Thank you, the three of you, and I look forward to building a fantastic 2030 with all of you. And back to the studio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for Sten and for the panelists. And I think maybe one of the key takeaways I got from that discussion was that what Sten mentioned, that we have so many new members in the community that we don't know majority of them. But maybe what I think of Estonian communities, we are small in one side, but we're actually bigger on another side. So what I encourage all the community members to do, if you want to talk to the other founders, just reach out to them, because I think it's much more realistic to get a lunch with me, Sten, or some of the other founders than it would happen in US. So really, don't be shy, reach out to people, and of course, try to do your homework, be prepared, ask smart questions. But I think that that's the strength of our community, is that we can meet each other, and we can reach out and then meet people in the meetups, in coffee shops and elsewhere. But it's time to move on.
But at this point, we still can't meet. I unfortunately have to remind you. And I know that there is some like 300 people watching us online, which is amazing. And there's like 8 of us here in the studio, and it feels quite lonely. So please, if you can and if you want, and if you are able to like, share, and give your comments in Facebook and in Lift 99 on Lift 99 page, Startup Estonia page, and give us a bit of your love through the virtual channels in this age of weirdness. Thank you. And to move on. Such events, of course, would not be possible without a big amount of supporters, and we have plenty of them. You see them on the screen, and the biggest of them is...
Yes, Hedman Partners for second year is our main sponsor. And if you don't know who they are a new generation law firm that is specifically targeting technology businesses in Estonia and in wider space. And they can help you from even the first concept of on the napkin when I'm trying to phase and then brainstorm about your startup, from the founder agreement until the larger rounds of raising from the world-known VC funds. So they are able to support you. And now we'll see a few tips from Hedman people, how they try to be and stay motivated in this difficult working environment as we are today. So let's see what they have to say.
And thank you, Hedman Partners, and all the other sponsors that have made this event possible. We sure do remember to celebrate. Thank you for that tip. And let's move on with the most important part of this gala tonight, which you've all been waiting for. And that is, of course, moving on with the awards, the nominations, and the winners.
Yeah, the tension is growing. I can already feel it even through the digital channels. But just to say it once more, Estonian Startup Awards, we don't have a secret jury, someone in the backstage making the decisions. It's actually all of you, the founders and the community, that are actually making these decisions, setting up the best of us, and then making the final vote. And as we said, we had 159 founders of giving their votes, so it's pretty large part of our community of taking that. And as said, we have 9 categories that we are starting to give out now. We have people from abroad, we have females, we have males, we have bootstrappers, we have revenue hacks, and we have all kinds of categories. So we are about to start. What is the first category, Liz?
The very first category, the foreign founder, is about he or she who has moved himself or herself together with their team to Estonia. We're not really sure about the reason, but we think it's the weather. So altogether, there were 10 nominations in this category, and you can see them from the screen.
So, and from these 10, we got top 3. And there we have Avery Schrader from Modash, Vishen Lakiani from Mindvalley, and Jeff McClelland from Salve. And the honorable winner will be announced by our president, Kersti Kaljulaid. Please.
Hello again and welcome to Estonia to all those who have moved themselves and their business to Tallinn. You must really be enjoying the snowfall outside today. Happy skiing winter, but the winner in the category, the foreign founder, is from education sector. His company has grown in 2020 considerably. The revenue growth has been 30% to 85 million. And the winner is Vishen Lakiani from Mindvalley.
Wow, congrats.
Congratulations to the winner. Vishen, are you there? Do you hear us?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I hope you guys can hear me. Thank you. Thank you for this. And I'm honored to get the award. Thank you so much. And I love Estonia, and I'm moving here permanently because my children are Estonian. It's one of the best decisions I've made.
Awesome. I do have to ask you one question. What is your favorite season while living in Estonia?
Right now, winter, I love it. I grew up in the tropics. I had sun and beaches all the time, but snow, it's amazing. I walk out in a -7-degree weather and I wonder how lucky I am, and I cannot understand why Estonians are saying they want to leave for the equator.
So you have learned how to ski already?
I've never skied in my life, but I can build a snowman. I'm from the tropics. I'm taking it one step at a time.
Awesome. So on top of startups, you can build snowmen. That's an amazing skill to have in Estonia. Thank you, Vishen.
Okay. So it's time to move on to the second category. And this category is about highlighting, praising, rewarding, and recognizing the true stereotype crashers, the female founders trying to survive in this pretty male-dominated tech sector. So I'm really hopeful that's going to change, as Kaidi recently mentioned. But it's still, let's see who are the nominations for this year in that stereotype crusher category.
So the top 3 of this category are Kaidi Ruusalepp from Funderbeam, Vilve Vene from Modular Bank, and Anna-Liisa Palatu from Vula. And we have a surprise for you. The winner of this category will be again announced by the President of Estonia, Kersti Kaljulaid.
I'm happy that Estonian women show how to do it, and Estonian girls, including our unicorn squad, can learn from their example. No girl growing up in Estonia will ever ask the question, can I be a founder? Can I create a startup company? And I'm even happier to announce that This award goes to somebody who has created a clean tech company, a company which helps us to save the planet. So the winner in the category Stereotype Crusher 2020 is Anna-Liisa Palatu from Vola Oy.
Congratulations, Anna-Liisa.
Wow, thank you so much. I obviously haven't prepared anything, so this is going to be great. But yeah, maybe I'd just like to say that I recommend everyone to start a factory because this has basically taught me everything I know about life. And I hope that in a few years it will be normal that, you know, people like me are known as someone who manages a factory. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, congratulations to Anna-Liisa. So, if we move on, the third category. The best investors are actually team players, gate openers, and very well connected. So usually we prefer to see investors that give additional value besides just the funding. This is exactly the role models and the people we are trying to recognize and award in this specific category. The baseline was to do at least 2-3 funding deals this year, but if we look at the nominations, then majority of them did much more than 5 deals a year. So the competition to get in among to the nominations is getting higher and higher every year. So please put the nominations on the screen. The Wise Wallet of the Year.
The top 3 of this category are Jaan Tallinn, an angel investor and philanthropist, Ragnar Sass, an angel investor and Lift99 founder, Martin Villig, an angel investor, co-founder of Bolt, and the winner will be announced by Kaidi Ruusalep. Welcome, Kaidi, again.
Thank you. I'm very, very honored to recognize someone, the Wise Wallet of 2020. Well, the winner is a man with multiple hats, and you know, hats are hot these days. He has uncountable number of ongoing projects, and his portfolio is reaching to the size of a solid VC. He energizes, he supports, he fights, but he also keeps an eye on the diversity of the portfolio. So you may ask, is it possible for one man? Here comes the answer and the secret. It's not the man, it's a man and the dog. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wise Wallet of 2020 is Ragnar Sass.
Woohoo!
Oh.
Ragnar!
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
So this is most likely the first and only comedy award today because, like, sorry, I am extremely rookie. I just don't know, like, with all the respect, what to do with the cash. When Timo told me back in November we will finalize Python people, I was in shock. So maybe this basically helps me to just push away this rookiness and sadness what happened after Python exit. But I'm super pumped up and thank you. I need to tell actually one thing that, you know, like the investing is easy, but saying no is super hard. And I actually want to today say so big sorry for so many founders who has been reaching me and where I need to say the no, because that's actually what I feel so bad. I feel your pain, but like, sorry guys, if I just can't always invest to you.
Ragnar, if you say that you are a rookie, what's your recommendation? Have you read any good books, or how do you actually try to educate yourself? And what's your plan for next year, in a year's time, not to be that rookie anymore?
You know, this is so good because I said people like professionals should like answer that. I don't know how to be like, you know, professional. I just like what I'm looking for people which I love. And I think that's why like the Previous Award which is given to Anna-Liisa, she's the example. She's just someone who inspired me. I was like, wow, what she's doing. So I think I'm just, you know, really, you shouldn't ask this question for me. There are so many smart people who are running VCs and, you know, this is really, I don't deserve this thing here.
We are lucky to have you, Ragnar, in the very heart of Estonian startup community, and thank you for all the projects and hats you're wearing.
Yeah, and people probably don't know, but Ragnar has put tens of hours also into the reviewing the nominations and talking to founders and getting all of them actually to vote as well. So thank you also from all the organizers to really giving a hand to setting up the Startup Awards. But the next category is the Bootstrap Badger. So what does that mean? So we are very used that when founders start a company, then they go for angels, start raising money and so on. But there is also an alternative. You can actually grow your company by getting revenues from your customers. Surprise, surprise. That's a possibility. And that category is exactly to highlight companies like that. They must have fundraised less than 200,000. And the category, it shows the founders that have creativity, the opportunities to grow with really limited funds and make something big out of it. So let's list the 9 nominations in that category for 2020.
And the top 3 nominees of this category are Rasmus Vooglaid from Fiji, Rasmus Gross from Elise, and Vishen Lakiani from Mindvalley.
And the winner of that category is someone who has moved to Estonia this spring. They have taken a big part of their business to Estonia. They have grown their revenues by bootstrapping to more than $80 million. I think that's amazing. I think most startups don't reach that kind of revenue, even with a lot of funding, tens of millions. And the company is still owned by its founders. So I'm really happy to announce, and actually they have announced plans to do an IPO quite soon. So if you are now able to grab their shares, be prepared. It's Vishen Lakiani from Mindvalley. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Hello, Vishen. You have changed the settings, but you are again with us.
Thank you. The animated background just looks so weird, but it's I'm honored. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, guys.
So as an education company, Vishen, how much you know about actually Estonian education system? So we are in the top of the world by the PISA tests, but do you have actually any practical connection to Estonian education, Estonian schools, and do you see opportunity that Mindvalley could actually somehow empower our ecosystem, our students, how we learn? What's your view on that?
Absolutely. Well, firstly, I moved to Estonia because my children who speak Estonian and are born in Estonia, we wanted to put them in a good school. And where we were living in Malaysia, all the schools were shut down because of the pandemic. And Estonia is a great place to raise kids. So my son Hayden, my daughter Eve, they go to school in Estonia now. And someday, yes, I hope that Mindvalley can help contribute to the Estonian education system.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, and also good celebrations to you. Congratulations once again.
Congratulations, Vishen.
And now it's time for category number 5, the Big Bang. So this category is for newcomers, new startups, new founders who have came out or launched their product during this year. So, and how many big bangs you do actually remember from this year? We have 10 nominations. So let's see who made the loudest bang in that category.
So the top 3 of this category are Modular Bank, What Ify, and Woola. Congratulations to the nominees.
And who would be the winner from those 3? The winner is someone that we wouldn't maybe consider as a founder, and as far as I know, a year ago, they still haven't started the company, and they might only have the idea. So it's someone, as already said before, is solving global environmental problems. They are mitigating one-time plastic, and they are trying to create jobs in Paldiski, which is out of Tallinn and really helping something. So, big congratulations to Anna-Liisa from Vula.
Anna-Liisa, oh, you have friends with you. Hi again.
I feel like I've already said this today, but I haven't prepared this, but this time at least I'm going to turn my Slack off so you don't get the notifications. But like, I can't believe that you guys voted for us, but I'm super thankful. And I just want to say thank you to my team who may or may not be here as well. And I think you're all just really special people because not everyone would be convinced to work for a company that tries to turn cheap wool waste into bubble wrap. So thank you, team, and thank you everyone who voted for us for some reason.
Anna-Liisa, I have a question for you also. How did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, that's like a good question. I guess it's a longer story, but you know, after you fail like 10 startups, one of them succeed eventually. So it kind of like led to Willa from the previous startups that we were working on and where we saw problems in e-commerce and just tried to look for solutions in better packaging. And then somehow Willa just happened.
Well, congratulations to you and your team, and we're super lucky and happy to see you grow so fast, and we're excited to see where you go.
Thanks.
We have given out 5 awards. We have not yet given out also 5 awards. So which ones are your favorites so far?
Of course, I know Ragnar for a long time, and he, being modest, yeah, I think it was a good view of highlighting his rookie status as investor. But yeah, truly, I think that both of the other winners, Vishen and Anna-Liisa, are great examples. And I was also a bit surprised to see that they got so many votes in different categories. So I think that must be a big trust, and they must have been done something that the community is really trusting them, and then they got majority of votes in multiple categories. So I think that's great achievement.
I have to admit that when I saw Vula's name in the list of startups, then I didn't know them before, and I'm super happy to now have met them, and also I have used their product.
Yeah, as far as I know, that currently their growth is restricted by the production and not by sales. So hopefully when they can really scale up their production, then they will do a real bang and boost for the next year and then growing really fast. But it's time for a next commercial break. So let's see whom we have there, and then what kind of fun things are they doing. Any tips? Do you know who might it be?
No clue.
Okay, let's see.
3 tips for running a successful startup in the home office era. Get rid of unnecessary noise. Your ability to focus is maximized when you have no distractions. But what should you do if you have to share your home office with an annoying partner?
You must be kidding me.
Come on.
I have to work. I need to do this. Now, stop it.
But we'll never do something together. Let's watch Titanic together.
No,
come on.
I can't. I have to do this.
Just one night. Come on. Let's do it.
No.
Let's watch Titanic.
Oh.
Really? What should you do? That's easy. Find an isolated location and make it cozy. Be active. Research shows that physically active people have a 30% boost in productivity. But how can you motivate yourself to work out at home? That's easy too. Find some motivation.
Good. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Be generous and support your team. In the office, it's easy to see how hard your employees are working. But how can you make sure they're also motivated to work at home? Again, that's easy. Give your employees gifts. And that's all you have to do to work successfully from home.
Whoa, Lisa, I'm really amazed. I should say that your boyfriend should get probably the most annoying, maybe most loving and most caring boyfriend of the year award. What do you think? I know that you started your startup this summer, so how can you get any work done at home with that kind of environment?
I have duct tape. And,
Okay.
I just try to use that on his mouth and on his hands and then I continue with what I need to do.
Okay. Are you still together?
I'm not sure. Maybe not anymore. I don't know. I haven't checked during the past 4 hours.
Okay. At least that was quite an insight to your daily life. So
I would be happy if someone would now give me a glass of wine though, because I was never allowed to open that bottle in the making of that scene. So I still haven't gotten that glass. But I hope in your homes you do have a glass of wine or bubbly or whatever you like, tea maybe, and have
popcorn?
Popcorn is allowed, yes. But the point is, this is a celebration and we are celebrating the weird and wonderful 2020 and trying to then move on with the categories.
Yeah, it's really weird for me as well to talk to the camera and I actually don't get any reaction. So I'm really, really hopeful that in next January we have the audience and the hall full of people and we can actually have some bubbly and celebrate truly. So as startup people usually do that with a big bang, dance and then show. So, but...
next category.
Yeah, number
the most annoying boyfriend was the 5 and now the 6th.
It's 6, yeah, okay. So the next one, the revenue hack. So this category is meant for the money-making machines. So we have been talking a lot about fundraising, but these guys are actually the ones that have been able to truly make money. And what does it mean, making money? That means that you have customers who believe in your business, who have a need, and who are willing to pay. So let's see, who are the massive money-making machines this year who have been able to hack or do whatever it takes to really grow their revenues. And here are the 10 nominations.
And the top 3 of this category are Ardo Kaurit from Ampler Bikes, Markus Villig from Bolt, and Taavi Madiberg from Skeleton Technologies.
And the winner will be announced by Merlin from Hedman Partners. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Merlin.
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody. Lisa and Martin, you are doing fantastic job over there. Congratulations to 3 nominees for making it to the top. I'm sure that the climbing to the top brought the long moments where you stop for a while and enjoy the view. And then you look back up again and realize that there's so much more to climb. In this category, it seems that plenty of revenue is generated in the mobility business and the revenue will only grow in time. As we all know, growing revenue is what keeps the business alive. As revenue grows, so does insight and know-how. So without further ado, I'm honored to announce the winner for the revenue hack category. It is a company demonstrating massive growth in conquering the automotive industry and leaving old school players in their dust. Congratulations to Skeleton Technologies and Taavi Madiberg.
Whoa! Give a big applause.
Yes.
Hi, Taavi.
Hi, thank you very much for this. And it has been an exceptional year for Skeleton Technologies, but I would say that it has been an exceptional year, not only for Skeleton, but for the entire clean tech sector. Because in the height of the pandemic, I think that the world realized that, yes, COVID is an enemy, but this is just round number one. But the real fight is on with a much bigger and stronger opponent, which is, of course, climate change. And Kara Swisher has said that the world's first trillionaire will come from clean tech. And when she said it, when people were thinking that maybe Kara Swisher has been eating too many mushrooms because nobody was close to that. But now we see that Elon Musk is the wealthiest person alive, and he may have a chance to go after the trillion. But in Estonia, we have great potential. We have AmpLab, we have Walk Bikes, Vula, Go Module, and many others. And I know that I earlier said that, yes, Elon Musk may have a chance to go for the $1 trillion. But my message for the founders is very simple. Don't worry. Elon Musk is not there yet. You can be the first clean tech company to go after that trillion. So all in all, I would say that clean tech is the largest business opportunity since the internet. And if we get things right in this country and we do the right stuff, then Estonia has a chance to come out as a winner. So thank you again for the award, and thank you for the Skeleton team.
Yeah, Taavi, it was a great speech, but maybe a question for you. So I know that you did a big round this year, and a big chunk of it also came from Estonian founders. Estonian investors. But why not jump on a train and actually do an IPO, and then you could raise much more and grow even faster? And what's your view on that? When are you gonna list on the stock market? So everyone would get part of your growth.
Yes, I will check with IT. We may have a data leak here because you seem to be reading too much information. But it's clear that what we have stated publicly as well, that sooner or later Skeleton will be a publicly listed company. And if you look at how the clean tech market has performed, we can look at companies like QuantumScape, valued at 20 billion, and a number of others. And it's clear that we focus on execution and our customers. But in the end of the day, it's clear that if you want to be a dominant player globally, and if you want to push the Estonian unicorn marketing to decacorn marketing, then we will become a public company.
Okay, thanks for that. And so maybe we can get our own Taavi Musk. You just need to change a few letters in your family name, and then we are good to go. So yeah.
I will tell Elon to make the change. So
okay.
We can have a Elon Muddyberg for that matter.
That's pretty easy.
Yes.
Just do the tweet and you probably get your answer as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taavi, and good luck for this year.
Yeah, thanks.
So we are up with the next category, and that's the 7th category, and it's called the Giving Back Powerhouse. This is about passion, dedication, but also humbleness. A person or an event or an organization that gives back without asking, that builds Estonia bigger without asking much back. And the award in this category goes to the initiative that has the potential to create the biggest societal and mindset change in Estonia and beyond. Altogether, there were 10 nominations in this category, and this category is also one of my personal favorites. Let's look at the nominations.
And the top 3 best in these categories are Jõhvi Coding School, Computer to Every Student in Estonia, and Unicorn Squad. So, as you can see, that's also one of my favorite categories, but there must be someone that was voted for the best. And I think that they are truly solving a big problem that is realized by the community. Estonia is lacking more than 8,000 software engineers based on the surveys. So this is the project and initiative where the tech community came together and they tried to help join forces and start training software engineers in a new way. And it's actually also a true example of the public and private partnership, where 2.5 million euros were put together with government and private donors to actually kick off the school. The winner is Jõhvi Coding School.
Woohoo! And we have Marek from Jõhvi Coding School joining us. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, hi.
Welcome.
Do you see me? Do you hear me?
We can.
So it's a real honor. Thank you for this honorable award. And truly being honest, this award belongs to Estonian startup community. So I prepared the speech. So thank you, Startup Estonia, Lift 99, Estonian Founders Association, for this great honor. And I also want to thank our co-founders of the team that have embarked with me on such an ambitious journey. So Marja Pehk, Taavet Hindrikus, Merlin Seeman, Martin Villig, Ede Tamkivi, Rainer Stenfeld, Mari-Liis Kitter. And if you go on our website, tulevikukool.ee, you can find more very well-known names of our community. So we would like to share this award with the named people because it has been a real leap of faith to create the future school. So it's like building a startup. It would have ever been a hard landing if it was not for each and every single one of you included in this journey. So thank you for embarking on such a wild journey together with me and with us. It's a really true privilege to be in front of you. Thank you.
Marek, when was the first time you actually got an idea that Estonia would need such school, and how long it took to actually be here today?
So this idea, we have been discussing about this idea for 4 or 5 years now. It started to realize when we had a chat together with Inga Goue from Startup Estonia and Marika True. We had the chat about this, and there this snowball started to roll. And the next step was educational fund, and then there everything started to happen, to be honest. And I honestly must say that idea only is worthless. There must be a team, execution team, who is putting air under the wings. And we have found a brilliant team. And during this past year, I must say that it has been a fantastic journey.
Thank you, Marek. I have one final question for you. What has been the biggest challenge until this day with this school project?
I think that the biggest challenge was to find the way to work together with the state in a proper way to do it really together with the Estonian startup community, together with the state. And now we are there. So we have challenges in front of us. We are in a final stage of choosing out the director of the school. or the schoolmaster, if we can put it like this. And of course, all the team will be formed after this schoolmaster. And then it starts to happen.
Thank you, Marek, so much, and best of luck with opening the school and finding the right people to lead it. But just to make sure that everybody understands the little fact that all of the award winners actually found out about their award and that they won it when we actually announced it. So there were several people who were holding on the line, but the winners actually found out just now. So that's the very genuine impressions you are seeing right there. And of course, they are also getting very special awards as, what is it actually? It looks like a boat.
Handmade glass art.
Handmade glass art, that's what it is.
By an artist from Hiiumaa, so we're also supporting regional jobs in Estonia.
Lovely. Let's move on with the categories.
So, category number 8. It's B2B SaaS startup. So every year we try to pick one category that maybe reflects the biggest movements in that specific sector. And as last year, there was more than 30 funding deals among SaaS startups. Then we decided that that must be the category this year that we would specially try to highlight and bring importance. So this fundamental year in SaaS ended with the biggest bang of Pipedrive, the SaaS company exit. But nevertheless, besides that, we are very hopeful that young and upcoming SaaS companies, we might get maybe the 6th or 7th Estonian unicorn upcoming from that segment. So let's see the nominations of the SaaS startups.
So the top 3 of this category are Martin Kõiva from Klaus, Robin Saluaks, e-agronom, and Kaarel Kotkas, Veriff. And the winner will be announced by Timo Rein. Timo, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
So companies in this category, B2B companies, sometimes fly under the radar for general public, but really successful ones we will see even as consumers or end customers. And out of this pack of really good companies comes what I think an outstanding company, an outstanding vision, and a group of people who work to make sure that even during these uncertain times we can trust people on the other side of this digital experience to be who they say they are. So the winner is Veriff.
I hope everybody is giving a big applause in their homes for the winner. Kaarel, is that you we're hearing there? Cheering and applauding.
Hi there. Thank you all for all the support. But yeah, I have to admit, at first I have a confession to make. When you asked about the growth numbers back in the middle of December, the year wasn't like ended yet. So I gave you some wrong numbers. I said that Veriff grew 4.5 times in the 12 months, but in fact we did 5.5 times growth in 12 months time. And thank you, team. This has been an interesting year. When all the lockdowns happened and we got an obligation to keep the world running and enable the remote work to work in a secure and trusted manner. So thank you all for the support. It's a pleasure.
Kaarel, I heard that to really top up this crazy year that you got coronavirus yourself. How are you managing that as a startup founder?
Thank you. I'm now doing all right. Yeah, but you're right that 2021 definitely started with all the possible positive news for me. But yeah, back in shape again, back in business. So yeah, doing all right.
Okay.
There's nothing stopping this kid.
Yeah.
Not even a tiny virus.
Okay, thank you, Kaarel, and good luck. So let's take the next category. Wow, it seems to be category number 9. We are about to reach the end of our awards.
Have we forgotten anything in the meantime? I hope all the people are still online. They have stayed with us and bear with us until the very final award.
Yeah, it seems we haven't had much glitches. We are still online as we
We seem to be still online. Everybody seemed to be hearing us, seeing us. Amazing. So we didn't have to do any pivots during this event. Nothing bad happened. 2021 really seems pretty amazing so far. But let's try to get over the tail of the dog, as they say.
Yeah, the final category, the founder of the year. Why should they be chosen?
The founder of the year deserves, of course, a very big applause because, first of all, because 2020. Secondly, because they have survived 2020 and all the years before that. And they, of course, have impressed and inspired and made a biggest impact on all of us during the past year. So let's look at the nominations of the Founder of the Year award.
And the top 3 of that category are Markus Villig from Bolt, the Pipedrive founders, 5 of them, and Taavi Madiberg from Skeleton. And now, who would give and announce that winner? Actually, it's the winner of last year, Kaarel Kotkas. Are you still online, Kaarel?
I'm still online. Can you hear me?
What do you have to say about this year's winner?
Well, definitely what I can say. Now it's the most exciting part of the evening. So everyone can start, but only very few of us can keep up the strong execution for nearly 10 and more years. These nominees are the perfect example that when the times get tough, the tough ones keep on going. When they were hit by 2020, no growth wasn't an option. The winners this year also stand out thanks to the great contributions to Estonian startup community, making Estonia bigger, and to be honest, even very bigger, thanks to their great alumni who are now busy building the next one in a lineup. This award isn't coming to you because of the exit, because taking all value created and example that has been sent into account, you guys sold it too cheap. So I'm pleased to say that the Founder of the Year title goes to the founders of Pipedrive. Timo Rein, Urmas Purde, Martin Tajur, Ragnar Sais, and Martin Henk. Congrats.
Woohoo! Congratulations, the Pipedrive brothers, or how should we call them? Founders of Pipedrive. Timo, are you online?
Yeah, I am. Thank you so much. Maybe not brothers, but thank you. It's an honor. And I as you can see, I'm representing 4 other guys here. So I'm lucky to be speaking and hopefully representing everybody well. But I don't know how one actually wins it here in this category. But I do know that to be the founders over the years. We've had, first of all, we've had to find each other from very different industries back in the day, and then obviously realizing that we are each quite a bit different from each other as a person, and then we had to fight each other and stand each other, but I do think that to be recognized for such an honor, I do think that it's because of the people that we've been able to find and hire, because without them we'd be still a group of founders, fighting somewhere in Estonia forest. But with them we have the company, and we are the company that we are now. And I hope that first of all the company continues to grow well and offer opportunities for many people, realizing their dreams as professionals. But as also Karel said, I do hope that those achievements will be shattered by others who are coming after, and hopefully soon also forgotten, because we have something else to celebrate. But thank you all for this.
Thank you, Timo. Can you just share where are you actually based now? So we were hoping that we could see you in the studio, but where are you currently greeting us from?
Yeah, it's just, I'll leave it as somewhere in the forest, not too far away, but far enough so that I can be there.
Okay. Really happy to see that you were able to join us from the forest, and that's what we actually, the world we are living today. So.
And congrats once more to the founders of the year and all the other award winners of Startup Awards 2020. We hope to keep this tradition up during the next years, make the gala bigger, better, more physical, more present, more intimate in the best possible way.
Yes, and I think it's great time also to thank the sponsors who were able to make this all become a lively event today. And can you please show them on the screen? And yeah.
That's it from our side, I guess. We should wrap this up, and we wish all of you a bubbly evening. Make sure you celebrate in between all this hard work and staying home. Celebration is super important in life, because otherwise it just goes by.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, it's community event. You can see we had more than 10 people contributing, probably tens and tens of hours for this whole preparation. We started in September. We're hoping to do actually personal meetup. We had great plans for the venue, drinks and food and everything, but in December we needed to replan the event and do it online. And so I'm really happy that we managed to do it all. So thank you for watching us. Thank you, Liis, for
Martin,
co-hosting. I think that we managed to quite kick it off, and hopefully for the next events we are already more experienced. So thank you all once again. Please share the winners. Please share your emotions, and I'm very, very happy for all the winners. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.